Hello, my darlings. Miss you in here again. Today in content, we are going to be on lesson 11, and we are going to finalize our booklets today. We're going to finish our animals that depend on trees. We're going to finish those booklets off today. So we're on lesson 11. If you could take aim, I can write a concluding sentence that states the topic in a different way. Let your arrows go. And there's also the I can statement up there that says I can write detailed sentences that give examples of how animals depend on trees for food. Now, I saw some friends submit or upload some of your booklets, and some of you wrote about animals that use trees for other purposes, like shelter and things like that. That's totally fine, okay? For the purpose of this book, I wanted you guys to really focus on what type of food animals get for trees, but if you wrote a sentence, a detailed sentence that had to do with animals using trees for something else, that's okay. I will be okay with that, okay? Now back to our wonderful We Depend on Trees song. I love it. We depend on trees. We depend on trees. We eat fruits, nuts, and chocolates. We depend on trees. Caterpillars depend on trees. Caterpillars depend on trees. They munch on leaves just as they please. Caterpillars depend on trees. Deer depend on trees. Deer depend on trees. They feed on bark in day or dark. Deer depend on trees. Squirrels depend on trees. Squirrels depend on trees. They scarf down seeds just as they please. Squirrels depend on trees. Birds depend on trees. Birds depend on trees. They fly in line to wine and dine. Birds depend on trees. Woohoo! There's our We Depend on Trees song. All right, so just let me go over quickly with you those extra words. Notice how today the verbs are missing. Verbs are action words. Say it loudly in your house. Verbs are action words. What am I doing? An action. I'm moving, okay? I'm tapping. That's an action. I'm doing something. I'm running. Remember, do some of those action words in your house so you know that verbs are action words. So just to quickly go over, to eat something, we all know what that means. When you're eating something, you're putting it in your mouth, you're chewing it, and you're swallowing it. The same thing with munching. We say they munch on leaves. Caterpillars, they munch on leaves just as they please. Munching is the same thing, but when you munch on something, you're really noisy and loud. You're like, I hope you guys are doing it out there. Pretend like you're munching on something. Really loud and obnoxious and noisy, okay? When you're feeding on something, same thing. You're eating food. When I say I'm feeding on my breakfast, I'm eating my breakfast. Oh, this is a good one. When you're scarfing down food, you're taking rather like you're so hungry, you're scarfing it down. You're eating it so fast and in a hurry, and it's crazy, and you're rushing, and you're scarfing something down. You're extra hungry. Okay. And dine is the same like eating. You're eating dinner. You're eating dinner nicely. When you're dining with somebody, you're sitting at a table with them, or you're sitting in a nest like a bird, and you're whining and dining. Okay? So those are some other words that mean eating. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my booklets. I'm going to show you my booklet for animals depending on trees, because I was going to show you my people depend on trees book, but I don't know what Jason and Ellie did with it. I think they ate it. I think they were munching on it. But anyway, I want to show you what I have so far with my animals depend on trees book, okay? So I started with my focus statement, and I want you guys to have this just like a booklet, just like me. You're going to have different pages. I know some of you have it in a notebook. Rip it out of your notebook and staple it together, okay? Or put a paper clip on it, whatever you guys have in the house to try and put these booklets together, all right? So my focus statement, animals need trees for food. I didn't draw my picture because I didn't have time, but make sure you have time to do that. Remember my first detail sentence, it said, squirrels eat nuts from trees. And I have my little squirrel and he is eating nuts from a tree. The picture matches the sentence, yes? Yes. Detail sentence number 2 is porcupines eat the inner bark of a tree. Guys, remember, you're not copying me, but these are the 3 animals that Miss Ewan picked. Remember your notes last week, you picked 3 animals? Your 3 animals should be 3 different pages, okay? I saw one of my friends show me a booklet. It was beautiful, but it was only about 1 animal. We have to do 3 different animals, 3 different sentences. Okay, here we go. So my second detail sentence is, porcupines eat the inner bark of a tree. And I have my spiky little porcupine. He's snacking on some sticks and some bark, okay? And then my last detail sentence says, the deer eat the sticks and the bark of a tree, okay? And there's my fat deer eating some sticks and some bark of a tree. Now, if you guys remember, in our People Depend on Trees book, we had a last sentence that we had to figure out and we had to write, okay? That is called the concluding sentence. So this is going to be your last page of your booklets, all right? So I want you to think about, what did I just write my whole book about? Did I write it about aliens? No. Did I write it about people and trees? No, I did that a couple weeks ago. Did I write it about animals and trees? Yes, I did. I wrote my book about animals needing trees for food. So my focus statement says animals need trees for food. But I don't want to write the same sentence again. That's silly. Why would I write the same exact sentence again? So I have to think of another way to say that same idea. So animals need trees for food. How could I say that in a different way, but mean the same thing? Well, I'm gonna think of this. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna write something, and you guys, you tell me if it's close. So let's see. This is a long sentence. Wow. Okay. So you guys tell me if this is a good idea or if this is good. So here's my concluding sentence. I'm going to read it to you. It says, there are many animals that depend on trees for food. Does that make sense? Was that what our book was about? Yeah. There are many animals in my booklet that depend on trees for food. Wow. I'm going to show it to you. There are many animals that depend on trees for food. Now, in my little box there, I'm going to have to draw my picture. Now, am I going to draw my picture with people in it or with me in it? I'm certainly not. I'm going to draw a picture of the animals that I drew about or that I wrote about. So I wrote about a squirrel. I'm going to draw my squirrel. My cute little squirrel. He's nibbling on some nuts over here. And then I wrote about a porcupine. So let me draw my happy little spiky porcupine over here. I'm going to show you guys in a minute. Spiky porcupine. And he eats the sticks of a tree. And then what was the other one? Let me go back. Let me go back and check. Oh, squirrels, porcupines. Oh, and deer. So then my deer is a little bit bigger. Remember, porcupines and squirrel, they're lower to the ground. So I'm going to do my deer up here. He's a little tall fellow. And he, you know what he likes? He likes the bark of a tree, the inner parts of the tree, kind of like the porcupine. And there are my animals, depending on my trees for food. And I'm gonna draw some trees in the background. And now this is not blue dot work right here because I just drew a sketch. I didn't color mine in yet, but I want you guys to make sure that you color yours in and make it blue dot work. I don't want to shout out my friends who didn't do that in yesterday's lesson. Blue dot work, high quality work. I don't want to have to look at this. I don't want to be angry when I'm looking at these, when I upload these things on my dojo. My kids see it too. My kids are very interested in the work that you're doing. So do your best. So I'm going to show you my picture that matches my concluding statement. There it is. Okay. So for your EL content assignment for the day, you are going to make sure that you have all parts of your booklet done. So if you didn't get a chance, your focus statement, detail sentence 1 about one animal, detail sentence 2 about another animal, depending on a tree for food, detail sentence 3 for another animal, depending on a tree for food. And last but not least, today's assignment, which is your concluding statement. So you are saying your focus statement in another way, and you're drawing a picture to match it. Now, remember, high quality work. I want to see beautiful, beautiful booklets, colorful, and you can try your best with all the words that you're trying to spell. And mommies and daddies, please take pictures of it so I can see it. Send it to me on Dojo. I can't wait to see your finished product. See you in a little while, guys. Bye for now.